So let's go ahead and create template. And that's going to take us right up to our templates tool again, and it's going to automatically open up our new project template here in the templates tool where we can see all of the different settings. So if we want, we can just leave it like this, call it a day, and then later we'll be able to very quickly add in this template to a project. The estimator will tell Clear Estimates how much they need of each part, and it'll just automatically save this as a very basic template that you can use to avoid forgetting parts in the future. But if you want to, now that we're in this templates tool, we can begin converting this into an advanced template that'll calculate based on a total area. So let's go ahead and do that. So here we have all these different parts from my project. The first part here is remove solid wood strip flooring glued. Now, if I want to, I can use these different columns here and just kind of very quickly plug in different quantities for each of these parts. For the sake of visibility, I'm just going to go ahead and open up the parts using the pencil so we can see that same view we were looking at earlier. And here is this first part for solid wood strip flooring. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my fixed number of units. And how many square feet of flooring do I want to remove per square foot of room area? I'm just going to make that a units per piece of 1. Oh, and you know what? I actually forgot something. And this is the absolute first thing you want to do when you're converting a template into an advanced template is change that unit type. And I should have done this just a few minutes ago. But I'm going to go ahead and change that to square feet so it knows how to calculate. So very important step. Don't forget that. You want to come up here, change your unit type. And let's open that part back up again. And we'll go ahead and adjust that to units per square feet of 1. So we'll go ahead and save that. So next I have a couple of parts for drywall. I have install half-inch drywall and I have some removal of drywall. I'm going to skip ahead here and start with install half-inch drywall. I'm going to go ahead and open that part up. And we'll get rid of our fixed number of units here. So what I notice about this drywall part is that this drywall part uses a unit type of square feet, but it's not asking for the square footage of the floor area. It's actually asking for the square footage of the wall area where I'm installing drywall. So what we need to do is figure out how many square feet of wall drywall do we need per square feet of room area. So how do we figure that out? So let's once again take a look at this same room example here. And again, what this is it's a 100 square feet room, a perfectly square room, just kind of make the math easy for us today. 10 linear feet of each wall, and each wall is 8 feet tall. So if this were 4 entire walls and there was no way in or out, let's just imagine there's no doors, there's no windows, it's just complete enclosed kind of nightmare room that we can't get in or out of. And we had 10 feet of wall area on each side and each wall was 8 feet tall. That would mean we'd need 320 square feet of drywall to cover all of the wall area. And if that were the case, I'd use a factor of 3.2 so that way it calculates the total area of all 4 walls. That's again, if they were just walls. But once again, we have to think about things like doors. We have to think about things like windows, and we need to subtract from that to come up with an average amount of drywall for this room. So you have to imagine the average door area is going to be around anywhere from 15 to maybe up to 20 square feet of wall area. Each window is going to be 8, maybe up to 20 square feet of area, depending on the type of room and the type of window. So for 2 windows, that's going to be around 40 square feet plus 20 square feet for the door area. I might bump that up a little bit to account for things like waste factor, since we're going to end up cutting out portions of the drywall for things like vents or fitting the drywall to irregular shapes in the room. So somewhere around 61 square feet of drywall I wouldn't need in the room in that situation. So if we start with that original factor of 3.2 and we subtract 0.61 from that, now I'm at 2.59 units per square feet. So to make it easy, I might go with 2.6. But it does depend on the room. We still need to consider things like vents, irregular shapes. Maybe this is a rectangular room rather than a square room, and I might need to dial that factor back a little bit to account for that. So for a safe bet in that situation, I'd probably use 2.4 units. So somewhere between 2.4 and 2.6 units per square feet of floor. And based on the projects I've done, I'm going to go ahead and use that factor of 2.4 units per square feet of floor. And in fact, a number of our templates use that same factor for wall drywall, again, depending on the type of room. So again, it's more of an art than a science. You want to adjust these factors based on the type of room, the sizes of rooms that you are seeing on average in the projects that you're working on, and you can adjust these factors based on that. And again, it's still in the end just going to give us a starting point and get us in that ballpark, and we can still make adjustments when we're adding the template into a project later. So I'm going to go ahead and save that as my factor. And let's go ahead and open up that removal part, and I'm just going to quickly add in that same factor for removing drywall. And that should get me in the ballpark in my estimate. So next, I have a part here for a field hung door. I'm going to go ahead and open up that with the pencil. I'm also going to save that as a fixed number of units of one door. So fixed number of units of one door here. We'll save that part. And then down here, I have some flooring parts. I'm just going to go ahead and open these up, and I just want these to match the square footage of the room area. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that in as units per square feet of 1. And we'll go ahead and save that part. And we'll use that as well for the material cost. So now we've been able to take this, this project template, plug in formulas for the different parts in my project template, and now later when I add this to an estimate, it's going to avoid me figuring out each individual quantity. And then of course I can make any other adjustments at the time that I'm adding the template in.